All right, Harmony Science Academy Algebra 2. Before we get into today's material, we're going to finish our thought. We're going to complete our thought from yesterday regarding transformations on exponential functions. Okay. Everything here should look familiar except for B. B looks a little different now. Okay, we talked about how B was a little different than what it was before with the other functions. So we're going to use these notations. So you guys are going to take time. I don't know if you guys want to write the whole thing or just go and change the other one, okay? But let me first explain, okay? I'm going to show you graphically, but what this says is if the absolute value of B gets the closer you get to 1, you get a horizontal stretch, okay? And the farther you get away from 1, okay? So whoever has a number farther from 1, you start getting a horizontal compression. Okay? Again, you've got to write this down and then play with your calculators, but let's take a look at it real quick together. Okay, so here's our parent function. Our base is 2. Okay? Now, let me go here. Okay, now this is a 10, right? It's further from 2. So if we look at our notes, okay, the further you go, there's a horizontal compression. So let's see if that actually happens. Okay. All right. So notice that horizontally we got compressed. Okay, because we've got a base of 10, which is further from 1. Okay. Now let's go to a base of 1.5. Okay. 1.5 is closer to 1, and according to our notes, okay, the closer you are to 1, there's a horizontal stretch. So let's see if that happens. Okay, so here's 2, and because 1.5 is closer to 1, we've got a horizontal stretch. Okay, so whoever is further away from 1 is going to have the bigger horizontal compression. Whoever's closer to 1 has a horizontal stretch. Okay, if that makes sense, great. If not, punch it in the calculator and kind of play with that. Okay, so everything else, you guys are perfect. Now we've just finished this off from yesterday. Okay, all right, so we're gonna give you guys time. We are gonna definitely focus on the vocabulary because we're now looking at logarithms. What you need to know is logarithms are inverses of exponential functions. Okay, they're a little scary. We're gonna make it real simple to focus on the CBA. Okay, we'll talk about something more difficult later, but for the CBA, we're gonna keep it real simple. Okay, so you guys will copy this down, and we're gonna take some time and read this. Okay, just to prove to you, yeah, you know what, it's a little bit complicated, but we just want to focus on what you need for the CBA. Okay, all right. So once we have that done, we're gonna get into the CBA exercise where they're gonna give you an exponential, and they'll tell you to write it as a logarithm, or they'll give you a logarithm and tell you to write it as an exponential. Okay. So again, how are we gonna keep it simple? All right, we're gonna use shapes instead of variables because variables change and they play tricks on your eyes. Okay, but these shapes are gonna make it simpler. So an exponential, an easy one like the one you guys will get on the CBA, you're gonna have a base. Okay, this triangle, any number, any variable can be in here. Okay, this is the exponent, it's up here, equals square. Okay, and they could have a variable or a number here, it doesn't matter. Okay, now how do you turn this into a logarithm? Pay attention. So you're gonna go log, okay, base b. How do you know what the base b is? From here, they give it to you. Okay, now what goes next? Whatever is in the square. So whatever was in this square goes here, which is going to equal whatever's in the triangle. Okay? Super simple. So I'm going to do a practice exercise, and I'm going to use triangles and squares, and it's going to hook us up. Okay? Now, what happens if we go in reverse? Same thing. If they give you a logarithm, okay? And again, I get it. It's scary because it's your first day looking at logarithms. So we're going to talk more in detail later. For now, you've got a logarithm, base b, okay, of some number, maybe even a variable in here. Who knows? Okay? That's why I'm using a square, just to keep away from the distractions and just realize whatever's here, okay, will be in a square. And over here will be the actual logarithm, which is the triangle. Okay, just like this. So if they hook you guys up, and they're not going to give you anything more complicated than this, okay, like the transformations we looked at, you're going to have something real simple. So if they tell you, hey, turn this into an exponential, you're going to say, okay, I need a base, which comes from there, okay, I need an exponent. What exponent? Is it a number? Is it a variable? Well, whatever they gave you here, equals this value that was up in here, okay, in the square. All right. So obviously we need to get you guys practicing, okay, so you can believe. So let's try and keep this video short, but let's look at an example like this, okay. So again, all you're doing is, for this exercise is, or this lesson is taking the inverse, okay. As we read, exponentials and logarithms are inverse operations, okay, which is now adding to your toolbox, right? The opposite of addition is subtraction, multiplication is division. So now you've got another tool in your toolbox. Exponential, opposite are logarithms, okay? So this is what I mean when I show you guys those notes from the video, okay? So I have, this is our notes, right? Let me just copy them here. Base B, right? Because this is an exponential, I can tell that right away, okay? So that's going to become what? You can look at the notes. Log base B of whatever's in the square equals the triangle, okay? So here's my base B, x. I have a 4 in the triangle. Equals what is in the square, okay? Now I'm going to turn that into a logarithm, so I'm going to go logarithm, okay? The base is x. I need the square. The y's in the square. And it equals the triangle. That's it. So if we want to clean it up here, we can go ahead and just write log base x of y equals 4. Notice this one's kind of underground. Okay, this is, if I had to draw a line like this, he's on the line, he's on the line, he's on the line, the x is kind of below the ground there, okay? Alright, so now let's go ahead and jump and do this one. Okay, this one is what? Log base b of the square equals the triangle. And we are going to turn it into an exponential, okay? Which is b, the exponent in the triangle, equals the square, okay? So let's go ahead and get started here. We've got log base 2 of, should be in the square, the 16, okay, equals, see, here they, you know math, sometimes we do silly stuff. So over here, we should have a triangle. They don't give us nothing, we can simply call it y, okay? But notice why I have the squares and triangles, because they do funky stuff. All you guys are, as long as you keep your squares and triangles organized, you'll be fine. Yeah. So now let's go ahead and turn it into an exponential. So I'm gonna have my base, which is 2. Okay, I need a triangle. So who's in the triangle? The y equals the square. Who's in the square? The 16. And there we have it. We can clean it up now and say 2 exponent y equals 16. Now you can do a lot of cool math with this stuff, but again, we've got to keep it simple for your CBA, and then we'll expand on it later. Okay. So what else needs to be said? Um, we'll have these practice exercises, and when you guys get to the exit ticket, okay, notice that we have kind of the logarithm here and then equals whatever on the right side. Here they switched it on you guys, so just rewrite it, okay? This is a huge tip so you guys don't get stuck on the exit ticket. We can just switch it logarithm, the log base 4 of x equals y, okay? And in here, you guys would box that in, put that in the triangle, and then you'd be able to take the exponential right there. Okay, so I guess we just, since we're already here, I would, to turn it into an exponential, I have my base 4. Okay, next, what, if I look at my notes, I need the triangle, which is the y, equals the box, and you should always finish it off so it doesn't look silly. Whoops. 4 exponent y equals x. All right, hopefully again you guys start trusting me with the really good notes. It's gonna lead to success for this CBA 7. Okay, appreciate your time. Catch you in class.